Hey, what's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews, and I wanted to do a video talking about my least reliable and my most reliable Makita tools. Now, that can be slightly subjective based on the type of tools you actually use. So what I did was I actually went down to my local Makita service center, had to come down there and just do some filming down there for a little bit as well. There'll be a video on that kind of later on. It's mostly a Milwaukee store, which is kind of funny, but that's actually where the nearest Makita service center is to me. And I asked them, hey, what do you guys see in for the most amount of tools from Makita? And they said it's actually pretty simple. They really don't see a whole lot of Makita tools, but they said they actually gave me 3 noteworthy examples. The first one might kind of surprise you quite a bit, and they find actually a lot of the Makita CXT tools come in. Now, kind of interesting here to think about the CXT tools being kind of unreliable, but I think it has to do with kind of the brushed nature of these tools. Now, this is one of the few tools that I have actually killed from Makita. I actually had a brush drill, not this exact tool. I actually got rid of it because it really wasn't serving my purpose too well. But a lot of the CXT tools are brushed. And they do have brushless tools you can get, but they are pretty expensive at that price point. You might as well go up to 18 volt anyways. And I think that's going to be one of the main reasons these things are not super reliable, or not saying reliable, but they're very easy to basically, send out that magic smoke out of the back, is because they are brush tools. They're not really designed for that heavy duty stuff. And I will say I was doing a couple of holes with my drill, and it was a brush drill, 12 volt drill, and it just let out that magic smoke, and bam, that was it. And I will say Makita did cover that, no questions asked. They got me a whole new motor in there. Bam, that was kind of one and done there. Now, the next thing that they say they see, in actually not a huge amount, but they do see definitely a couple of those, is going to be anything subcompact. And I found that to actually be not surprising. A lot of the subcompact tools are basically just brushless entry-level tools. If you didn't know that, that's pretty much what they are for the most part. A lot of these tools are in Japan. They are also black and the teal. Here in the US, you can mostly only get the subcompacts in teal. Very rare to see these actually in black. Very rare to see these actually in the teal variants. And most of the time, these are just entry-level versions of a brushless tool, and quality has not been super great on these tools. Honestly, I've seen these things actually break a number of times kind of right here, especially with the impacts and the drills. I've had a number of friends that do have the subcompacts, and they have had warranty issues with them. Of course, breaking them somehow, whether they fall off a ladder, they're just using them too hard. And honestly, I have actually one of these that I got in from eBay. It's actually down here, and this one has an issue, I believe, with the chuck. Now, not warranty, of course, because I bought it basically that way, but I'm going to probably buy a new chuck for this, get that replaced. And of course, I don't really know if it's Makita's fault this thing broke, but might have had some really heavy use. But again, though, subcompact tools, I have seen more repairs on these things than really any other LXT tool. Now, that was about really all they see, other than like SDS hammers, which pretty much any brand I've seen a lot of those going for warranty. Many companies use those really, really heavy. And of course, when you use SDS hammers a ton on job sites, they're going to break. The last company I used to work for, we used a ton of Bosch. We're sending 1 in a month for warranty work. Same thing with Makita, same thing with Milwaukee, same thing with DeWalt. Honestly, they said they see more SDS hammers than pretty much anywhere else. We do a lot of concrete work here in Florida. So of course that is going to be a really, warranted tool, and one of the most common warranted tools out there. So I can't really blame Makita for that one. I would assume it's the same across the board for things like Hilti and other brands as well too. But I just want to bring out that was probably their 3rd most seen tool, was SDS hammers. Now, if you take it from my opinion, what has been my least reliable tools that I have seen to date? I will say the 36 volt chainsaw has been, honestly, it never let me down, like it broke, but constantly overheating. That thing was just horrible. I did move to XGT chainsaws. I'll leave a link in the description. You want to check out my video I did on the XGT chainsaws versus the 36 volt chainsaws. Absolute night and day difference. I'm working in well over 95 plus degree weather most days when I use a chainsaw, and honestly, it just blows the 36 volt tools out of the water. I have yet to see one overheat after using multiple batteries. Basically, killing multiple batteries in that chainsaw. No overheating issue with that motor anymore. That's been a big help. And of course, I don't know if it was the overall design of those 36 volt chainsaws, but I will say that motor would get super hot, even hotter than the 40 volt chainsaws I've got now. And of course, that thing would just totally shut down and be totally inoperable for at least a good couple minutes. I used to actually run 2 of those saws at a time because, of course, one overheats, you put it to the side, you grab another one, overheats, and grab the other one, and there you go. So the 40-volt chainsaws fix that up quite nicely. But again, that's one tool I definitely recommend to not buy. Much as I'm a Makita guy, they don't make perfect tools. You know, there's always going to be a couple of tools that are not the best out there, and of course they're going to have issues here or there. Now, some of the tools that I wouldn't say are unreliable, but I feel like could have been made up to a Makita standard. You know, they're just not phenomenal. Definitely the fan here, the LXT fan. This thing just feels so just cheap for what it really is, you know. This thing wobbles around a lot. It's got, you know, an oscillating function to it. It's really not a job site fan. It feels more like a fan you have like in your house. It feels how durable it really is. It just doesn't feel like something I'd want to have in my truck or on a job site. I feel like if I threw it in the truck once, it would just break. Honestly, it's one of those tools where I've purposely kind of kept it to the side, not use it, because I know it's going to break the second it gets to any, you know, if I have something fall on top of it, I kick it off a ladder, kick it off a shelf, you know, this thing is going to break. Just, you know, everything feels so cheap on this thing. There's no bumpers. There should be bumpers on the side here, bumpers on the top, and come on, this thing does not feel quality in any way. I just know for a fact I'm going to drop this thing, it's going to break. The kids will be like, nope, you dropped it, not under warranty. So one of those tools where I do not want to touch it. So that's been my kind of overall experience with Makita tools. I've been using them for at least, I would say, 6 years now, a little bit on and off for the first couple of years. I did use a lot of Milwaukee and DeWalt the last couple of years as well too, but for the last 3 years now, maybe even, probably 3 years actually, I would say, I have been almost exclusively Makita. I've used Milwaukee and DeWalt here and there for fun, of course, for more videos on YouTube here, but for my work though, I'm pretty much exclusively Makita now, and I would say I've got 60, 70 batteries now, and I've only actually ever done 3 warranties. If you're wondering what they are, I warrantied out, of course, one of the CXT drills, one of the brushed drills, and those things, of course, are pretty cheap. You can buy them for like 40, 50 bucks on eBay. The other thing that I warrantied was one of the Makita 1.5 amp hour batteries. It finally just kind of failed on me. Would not charge, gave me, you know, the red green lights on the charger. That was also a very easy warranty to do. And then finally my third warranty was I had a XPH14 drill. That thing finally, it just started grinding a lot. Just kind of failed on me. Really didn't use it that heavy, but I got it fixed. Makita sent me whatever the repair they did on it, and I've had it ever since. Works phenomenal, no issues there. So that's been my 3 warranty repairs from Makita, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I like Makita so much, is this stuff just keeps going. My experience with Milwaukee and DeWalt was far, far different. A lot more, you know, huge repair stuff on there. In my opinion, Milwaukee was the worst. I probably had 1 tool in a month. And with Makita now, I'm looking to get 1 tool in a year. And I will say I'm about the same usage. I've actually got more batteries, more tools, and I use all outdoor power tools now with Makita. And I will say the Makita stuff is getting heavier than Milwaukee, but I'm getting far less failures. So kind of my 2 cents on that. I'm sure everyone's got a different opinion on that, of course, depending on what your usage case is, where you're using it, temperatures, lots of variables in there, of course, when it comes to tools. But that's why I like Makita so much there. Now, other than that, when it comes to absolute reliable tools, I will say a lot of the Makita lighting stuff, I've not used it that long myself, but I like the overall durable design on these tools. And some of the people that I know that also use Makita lighting, they have said they've just been absolute tanks with this stuff, and this stuff does not want to die. Lighting stuff, pretty cool that it lasts that long. But I will say, though, every other lighting solution I've had from Milwaukee and DeWalt was exactly the same. Never actually had one fail. So again, that could be across the board. But anyways, when it comes to Makita, the lighting stuff has been overall very, very reliable. And surprisingly, this is kind of an interesting one here, is been the Makita coffee maker. Now, I don't use this thing a ton, but when I need hot water for something random, like I want to make some cup of noodle or something like that, or I'm making like 1 cup of coffee. I'm a big tea drinker as well. I love green tea, and I use this thing a bit in my shop here. It keeps going. You know, it does burn through batteries really, really quick. But it honestly just keeps going and going and going, and I've really not had any issue with it at all. And finally, I've got a bunch of them, actually down here too, is impact drivers. I have yet to have a single Makita impact driver fail on me. Now, I have heard, you know, of people having issue with them, of course, and I like buying some really beat up ones too. This one's not like that beat up. This is just an XDT13. This is my dirty impact that I use for working on, if I gotta fix something on the RV that's in not a great spot, like near the black or gray tanks. This is the one that I'm going to use. If I got to work out in the dirt, this is the one I'm going to use. So I have yet to have one break, whether or not I've ran over the vehicle, thrown it in the dirt or the mud. Doesn't matter what it's been so far. I have been able to have them never fail on me. They just work incredible. And they're not IP rated like the Metallo HPT stuff, which has also been amazing too. But impact drivers from Makita, yeah, they've been absolutely rock solid. I think honestly, if you were to, throw it off like a 20-foot ladder, run over with like, a big 1-ton truck, yeah, you're probably gonna get to break, of course, at that point. But for me though, working outside, especially in the hot summers here in Florida, has been absolutely incredible, and yet to really see a failure on any of these Makita tools. And that's the reason why I stock so many Makita tools for my jobs, and they have not let me down just yet. So I've been really happy with them so far. And of course, you get some tools in there that have not been great here or there, but honestly, what can you do? You've got Makita stuff here or there, and it's going to keep going. So that's what I like about it a lot, honestly, there. So guys, that's all I've got for you today. I'll let you know if I find anything else, when it comes to unreliable, reliable tools. And leave me a comment below, guys, if you got any suggestions for any tools to test out, or if you had what your experiences are on tools as well. So guys, take care, have a great day, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.